Welcome back to Feed Me in the Forest. There's something kind of wild about the idea of solo camping. There's no friends, there's no family, there's no backup plan except yourself. Just you, your gear, the wind and the trees, and that quiet little voice in your head that suddenly gets very loud when the sun goes down. So why would anyone choose to camp alone? Today we're talking about solo camping. Why people do it, why people don't, what you actually need, how to stay safe, and whether it's something that you should try at least once in your life. By the end of this video, you'll know the real pros and cons of solo camping, safety concerns and how to manage them without paranoia, different types of campsites and campgrounds, costs and expenses, gear setups from minimalist to luxury, food, comfort, and the mysterious questions about toilets and showers that everyone wants to know. And what do you even do all day when you're alone in the woods? Let's get into it. What is solo camping really about? Solo camping isn't just camping without people. It's intentional solitude. No compromising on schedules, no debating where to set up camp, no background noise unless nature provides it. Well, unless you have noisy neighbors. It's just you making decisions, solving problems, and existing without distraction. For some people, that sounds peaceful. For others, it sounds absolutely terrifying. And honestly, it can be both. The first time I went solo camping, I was excited, but I was also nervous. I'm an introvert, and I need my alone time, and I wasn't getting it at home with my family being there all the time. I craved peace and quiet, but it was so hard to find. I remembered how much I enjoyed camping when I was a kid, but I had no one who shared my love of camping currently. I thought, well, the only way I'm going to get to go camping is if I go alone. And so I did. And once I did, there was no turning back. While planning my first solo camp out, I became a member of a nearby wildlife sanctuary, which had a member benefit of free camping in their tiny campground. I think there are only around 8 campsites, and it was only 20 minutes from my house. So I thought if my fears got the best of me, I could easily and quickly pack it up and go home. But I didn't. And that one decision changed how I think about being alone forever. I had no tent to sleep in. I pitched an old easy up tent I had in my garage over the picnic table, so I looked sort of official and like I knew what I was doing. I built a makeshift sleeping setup in the back of my mid-sized SUV. It wasn't the most comfortable setup, but I didn't care. Over my first 2 years of solo camping, this was my go-to spot for quick camping trips. I then decided that I need a larger and more comfortable setup, and that's when I decided to purchase my camper van, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Of course, there are some pros and cons to solo camping. So, what are the pros? Well, here you go. Number 1, solo camping is total freedom. When you camp solo, you do whatever you want. Wake up at 5 a.m. and hike? Cool. Sleep until noon? Also cool. Eat dinner at 4 p.m.? Eat dinner at 11 p.m. No one's going to judge you. There's something incredibly freeing about answering only to yourself. One morning I woke up before sunrise, not because of an alarm, but because the forest got quiet in a way that felt intentional. I opened my eyes and I looked out the back of my open van doors, through the trees to the misty lake, and I watched the sky slowly change colors and listened to the songs of birds serenading me. I closed my eyes again, pulled the blanket up to my chin, and drifted off to sleep again. When I woke, I made coffee, then breakfast, and savored the slow morning. By the way, coffee always tastes better in the woods. No rush, no plan, just existing. That moment alone was worth the entire trip. Pro number 2. Solo camping is a mental reset and you gain clarity. Without constant conversation, notifications, or noise, your brain slows down. You notice the sound of birds, wind rustling through the trees, the time it takes for the sun to set. Solo camping can feel like hitting a mental reset button. You may think deeper or think about nothing at all. And that's rare. Number 3, confidence and self-reliance. Every solo trip builds confidence. You set up camp alone. You cook alone. You solve problems alone. And each time you succeed, you prove to yourself, I can handle more than I thought. That confidence doesn't stay in the woods. It follows you home. Number 4, you gain a deeper connection with nature. When you're alone, nature feels closer. You move slower. You listen more. You may notice that animals even behave more naturally around you. It stops feeling like a trip and starts feeling like an experience. So, are there any downsides to solo camping? Well, yes. Yes, there are. But there are steps you can take to mitigate them. Here are 3 downsides to solo camping and some suggestions to avoid them. Let's be honest, solo camping isn't all peaceful sunsets and great cups of coffee. Loneliness can hit hard, especially at night. Once it gets dark and the forest gets quiet, or very not quiet, you may suddenly wish someone was there. Solo camping isn't for escaping feelings, it amplifies them. If I'm on a longer camping trip and feeling lonely, sometimes I'll call a friend and we'll chat for a while. Or if you're at a campground that has a camp host or a camp store, stop by and have a chat. Sometimes loneliness creeps in at night. The campground goes quiet. There's no voices, no cars, just darkness. Sometimes you do hear things and you don't know what they are. Usually it's just a raccoon or a squirrel passing by or a deer. Honestly, just sitting with those feelings of loneliness and uncertainty instead of running from them is part of the experience. There's always a moment when fear fades. After a few trips, I noticed that I wasn't listening for every single little sound. I slept better. I trusted the space. Bring your dog along if you think loneliness will be an issue. I do occasionally, but sometimes I just want to be completely alone without the responsibility of caring for a pet. So my dog stays with my family at home sometimes. Con number 2, safety risks are real. There's no backup if you get injured, if your vehicle won't start, if the weather turns bad, bears, or human predators. This doesn't mean solo camping is reckless. It means it requires planning. Make sure you always carry a first aid kit. Bring bear spray if you're in an area with bears. Have the number for the nearest towing service. Have tools for self-protection. And pack for an unexpected turn in the weather. Number 3, everything is on you. Every task, every decision, every mistake. There's no one to help. Carry gear, split chores, or double check your plans. So have a plan in advance. Here are some tips on how to stay safe while solo camping. This is the part that scares most people, and rightfully so. Number 1, tell someone your plan. Always tell someone where you're going, when you're leaving, and when you'll be back. Even better, leave a printed or written itinerary. Number 2, start small. Your first solo trip doesn't need to be remote or off-grid or multi-day. Instead, try just one night to start. Go to a developed campground close to home. Confidence grows with experience. Number 3, choose the right location. For your first trips, avoid extreme terrains, high-risk weather, crowded party campgrounds. Look for places with cell service, at least initially. Look for a place that has rangers or hosts and clear, easy trails. Number 4, carry safety gear. At minimum, first aid kit, a headlamp and flashlight with extra batteries, a whistle, a phone charger or a power bank, and phone numbers for park ranger, local police, and your nearest auto repair shop. Some advanced things you can have are a satellite messenger, which allows you to send text messages without cell service, bear spray where it's appropriate, and know how to store your food, trash, and belongings to protect them from animals. Have your self-defense tools. Have an emergency shelter plan. And remember, be prepared, not paranoid. So what type of campsite or campground should you choose for your first solo camping trip? Solo camping doesn't mean roughing it unless you want it to. There are developed campgrounds which are usually best for beginners, and these usually include designated campsites, fire rings, toilets, sometimes showers, and even dishwashing sinks. The pros to these are that they're usually safer and there are always people around, and they are easily accessible. Some of the cons, they're less solitude and usually more noise. There are also dispersed camping places you can go to. These have no facilities and sometimes they don't require reservation. These have more privacy and a true wilderness feel, but there's also more responsibility on your part. They often don't have toilets and they do require some experience. The first time I camped in a state forest in dispersed camping, I realized how loud silence actually is. The campsites were so far apart that you couldn't even see or hear anyone in the next one. Actually, there wasn't even anyone in the next one. The only noises were nature and the occasional dirt biker passing by. It was intimidating, but it was also incredible, and I would certainly do it again. And then there's backcountry or backpacking. These you carry everything in and everything out. There's deep solitude, incredible scenery, but some of the cons are it can be physically demanding, it's higher risk, and not very beginner friendly. So there are costs and expenses involved in solo camping. Solo camping can be cheap or it could be very expensive. A minimalist low-budget setup might include a tent or a hammock, sleeping bag, a simple camp stove, and basic food. But once you own the gear, trips can cost next to nothing. You can also get higher-end setups which include lightweight gear, better sleep systems, solar chargers, camp furniture, and you can even do luxury camping, which might include a rooftop tent, power stations, camp kitchens, hot showers, and yes, these exist, and it could be glorious. So what about cooking when you're solo camping? Cooking alone is underrated. Cooking solo at camp slows me down. There's no multitasking, there's no rushing, just chopping, stirring, and listening to the fire. Some of the best meals I've had were eaten alone, outside, with nothing but the sound of nature. You can go simple or not. Some simple options include freeze-dried meals, sandwiches, and instant coffee. That's not my thing, but maybe that's best for you. Comfort options include one-pot meals, campfire cooking, fresh ingredients, and an AeroPress or a French press for incredible coffee. For less stress and less cleanup, you might opt to prep your food at home. And now for that burning question about showers and toilets when you camp. Two common concerns about camping are toilets and showers. Let's talk about it. So campgrounds may have a vault toilet, which can be kind of smelly and gross, or they can have flush toilets, which are nicer. Sometimes they're very rustic. If there's no toilet at your campground, learn proper cat hole techniques. Learn where to dig and where not to dig. Bring toilet paper and pack it out. Portable toilet systems exist. It can be as simple as a plastic bag-lined bucket with a pool noodle on the rim for a seat, or a portable toilet like a Thetford, for example, which is what I use in my van. Always have your toilet situation planned out. So what about showers? Some campgrounds have them, others don't. In mild sunny weather, solar showers work surprisingly well. You can also use body wipes or have a sponge bath. For a real treat, invest in a portable propane shower for hot showers. Or just simply embrace the dirt. So another burning question is, what do you do all day when you're alone? This is a question everyone asks. Sometimes I do nothing. No hiking, no reading, no picture taking. I just sit and watch the shadows move. And somehow that feels productive. Don't convince yourself that it's a waste of time. You're getting your mind right and getting yourself out of that fight or flight mode. Sometimes it's the best thing you can do for your mental health. You can also hike or bike. I love to explore an area on my e-bike. You can read, journal your experiences. If you're into fishing, go fishing. Take photos, meditate, bring some puzzle books or puzzles, do crafts or art, just gaze at the campfire, cook fantastic meals, or do absolutely nothing. Solo camping teaches you how to be alone without being bored. Nighttime can be the scariest time of your camping trip. So, how do you avoid those nighttime fears? Everyone hears noises, animals, wind, branches. So here are some tips. Know the local wildlife in your area. Secure your food properly and accept that most sounds are harmless. Fear fades with familiarity and experience. Trust your gut. If something seems off, take action. So is solo camping for you? Solo camping isn't about being brave. It's about being present. If you want clarity, if you want confidence, you want space to think, give solo camping a try. It might just change how you see yourself. Sometimes the best conversations you'll ever have are the ones you have alone under the stars with yourself. So in closing, if you've been thinking about solo camping but hesitating, start small, plan well, trust yourself, and just do it, even just for one night. The quiet you're looking for might be waiting just outside your comfort zone. If you found this video helpful, please hit like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Would you go solo camping, or have you already? I'll see you out there. Bye for now.